xAI is buying a building for a third supersized data center. Now, I always like to provide caveats for some sources. The information often reports things that we kind of already know or things that have already happened. So kind of take that how you will. But either way, nice push to the upside as we get the information reporting that xAI is buying a building for its third supersized data center. More details. Apparently, this is going to be planned for outside of Memphis, Tennessee. So SMCI on watch. Now Neil on watch. Neil, hello. Afternoon.
Hey, what's up, Adair? That's like, it's just a little bit different from what we usually do, rolling in here. But keep in mind, right now we do have the Fed meeting minutes just dropping right now. So remember, this is like it's like a comprehensive. Hey, this is what everybody is saying. At the end of the day, it doesn't necessarily usually move the market. And I literally saw in the chat like a couple of people saying, man, make the market do something. You can't. I can't make the market move. You know, if I look at the Qs right now compared to what it did in the morning, I think it's obvious, it's distinctly different. Basically from noon till now, we have had like maybe 30 to 40% of the day's range. You know, like in the morning, you get your regular movement. These were your chances where you're going to take some shots, and it almost doesn't matter what you were trading in. But for the last couple of hours, this is what the Nasdaq has done. And juxtapose that to even yesterday. Like yesterday, throughout lunchtime, you were actually getting a pretty solid step up, and you got lots of movement in the afternoon. Bigger range on the day, but also bigger range throughout lunchtime. Like at noon, you were making lows, and you didn't top out until about like power hour, actually. We've just been sideways here going into these minutes. I don't really have anything incredibly different. I'm into a silver long. I bought the first, like I said, I missed that long there in the middle, but I did buy this dip in front of 70s. I still have some intel to the south side. But let's go to Adara, get an update on the Fed minutes.
Nothing super exciting here, guys. Most participants apparently supported cutting rates, though some preferred holding steady. We saw that in the vote, saying that several who voted for the cut said that the decision was, quote, finely balanced. So some people who voted for the rate cut could have gone either way, is the sense you get from that. Apparently some participants saying that under their economic outlooks, it would likely be appropriate to leave rates unchanged for some time. So we're probably not going to get any cuts immediately. A lot of this kind of things we already intuited based on the CME Fed Watch tool or from comments from Fed speakers after this meeting, including those from Fed's Hammock. We also had, again, some concerns about higher inflation becoming, quote, entrenched, saying that further rate cuts could, quote, be misinterpreted as a lack of commitment to the 2% target. That's really all I have here, guys. A lot of it's stuff we've already heard. Kind of a nothing burger. Back to you.
Lack of commitment and discipline. Like, yeah, lack of commitment. Look, at the end of the day, we never really expect these to move too much in here. So again, you can call it a nothing burger. You can say whatever you want in terms of moving the market, but I don't think the expectation was that it was going to be too crazy. So I said I'm in two things. I'm in silver. I'm in an Intel reversion, which, oh yeah, position. Hey, it's working. The position board is absolutely fine. Here, I'm just going to draw this for you so you can see the Y. There's the Y. There's the VWAP that has really not been happening here on Intel, as that's up 3%. 1965 kid who's asking why is the position board always down? There is some theories to it. There's a system issue with it. There's something that got worked in the back end so that we can essentially just take the trading platform, the summary, to just essentially just display it. And it probably needs to be updated. It's like, yeah, it needs to be fixed. And oh, there we go. Like think of it this way: every time they do an upgrade on the trading platform, there needs to be an upgrade to the back end to make it work properly. And so we need the team to be back from vacation. Right now, they're not even in the office. Like, no one's in the back office right now. The only people there's some support like remote support for the traders at Real Trading, obviously. But if it isn't like the production crew, like us, nobody else is here. Oh, what'd you get? What is that?
So I got a poke bowl.
Oh, poke bowl, nice.
Spicy habanero karage from Relation, just around the corner. So I just had to, during the show, I took a quick 3-minute break where I just ran around the corner because I got an alert.
For ideas of what to get.
No, but I was gonna get pizza, dude, and I wanted pizza from a specific place, okay. And they had a great deal as well. Two slices from was it Fourth Man on the Fire? So they're pretty solid pizza. Yeah. But then I also wanted garlic dip, and they charged me $4 for a small garlic dip, and I was like, no, I don't.
$4 for a dip?
Because I know for a fact if you go in, walk into the store, and get that same garlic dip, it's like $1.50 to $2. Fourth Man on the Fire.
$4 for a garlic dip.
Oh no, that's Uber Eats. That's the Uber Eats premium.
Okay,
Right?
My
It's
bad,
just
my
like,
bad.
dude, don't do that.
My bad. I thought that was I thought that was the place. No shade whatsoever at the place, but $4 charge on that. Talking about that.
That's a crazy, man.
Talking about just some sauce.
That's some sauce. I mean, some of that sauce can be expensive. Trust me, but like, especially if it's that secret sauce.
Oh.
You don't want to get lost in the sauce. I haven't said that in a while.
Depends on the. I understand the sauce you're talking. What?
Japanese Coke.
This is from Ramin. Well, that's legit.
Arigato.
What's wrong with you?
Japanese Coke from Ramin right here. That's pretty cool. Oh, you don't want it back?
Oh, she wants it back.
What?
I thought you were giving it to us.
I'm not getting it. We'll be getting it warm. Come on, Ramin.
Oh man, come on. All right.
Anyways,
I
know I've never seen that type of bottle before.
Yeah, me neither.
That's pretty cool.
That's interesting.
I mean, I've also never been to Japan, so like I guess that makes some sense. But
it's on my to-do list.
Yeah, that's a bucket list place.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a bucket list place.
Yeah.
I think when we're done with Europe, there's a lot of places I still want to see.
Gotta see Mount Fiji in person.
I've said this before, and before we go to, I know we're gonna do the rundown and everything. One of the biggest mistakes I made early in my adulthood was when I was young and probably could have got away with traveling. I was so fixated on I'm gonna make it as a trader that I wouldn't take any time off in the first 10 years when I was trading. I would try to make sure I was trading every single day. I was trying to save as much as I could to have a bankroll, and I missed out on some serious life opportunities. Some of my university buddies from my track team at Waterloo, they're like, hey, we're going to Egypt a year or two after graduation. And I'd started making money. I could have gone. I could have gone.
Yeah, but you were saving up.
And I was like, nah, man, I can't. I don't want to miss 2 weeks of the market, and I don't want to spend money. And I mean, in some ways, it ended up being good, but that was a real huge missed opportunity for me. It's there's some experiences that you don't get back, and it's just it would not be the same. I'd go to Egypt now with my family, but that's not the same as doing that trip with my boys from university when we're in our early 20s.
Yeah.
It's just you cannot replace some things. I'm not saying go out and spend a bunch of money on stuff you can't afford. That's a totally different. I'm just saying there's certain experiences that you. Anyway. No,
Ramin.
Ramin's out of control. You guys can't hear the stuff that she says in our ears with regards to that. Anyways, we'll get to the rundown in a second. You see Sia's now in the house. So Sia's here this afternoon. So people are asking, where's Sia? She's here in the afternoons. Don't worry about it. We're locked and loaded, and we're ready to go. For sure, as I said, I'm only in a couple of things. I don't know if you're still in anything.
I'm in silver.
Oh, nice. So, by the way, silver.
Log back in.
Silver, nice move here. Just I don't know where you're in, but it just bounced off 70, got to 70.5, and it's pulling right back into 70. So, I'm looking for this bounce. Why is this there? That's a little bit better. No, it's holding on to this 70 line as support, but it's really struggling. I'm going to get rid of this trend line. So this trend was to here.
Please.
But this trend line from VWAP is the one that I care about now. And it's really starting to break down. Now it's really breaking down. I can't reload this again because you're going to break down under this trend line if we lose 70 the second time. So I don't know if I like this reload unless we can put in some higher lows here on silver. But it's been a good scalp trade for most of the day. The market, again, not doing much with these Fed minutes. But overall, there's been some good opportunities here in silver. Famously, like I said in the lesson of the day, sometimes the dishwasher just needs to get loaded, and you're not at your desk when this happens. That is the one that'll get away from me. It's all the longs, and this was the one that I didn't have, but that's just how it is. So we'll see what silver does here. Not a heck of a lot moving otherwise, and you don't want to force trades. Tomorrow is the last trading day of the year. New Year's Eve is a let's just say, an obvious day where volumes are low. I've argued that one should be a half day more than Christmas Eve, in all honesty. But there's also something that's very true. I'll tell the story a little bit later about my first trading experience as a full-time trader on New Year's Eve. Spoiler alert, I stayed at home, and let's just say I really regretted that decision at about 11 o'clock that day. But we'll go back. Are we ready? Are we good? So. Okay, so we got the thumbs up. We can head over to Sharif. Let's get the rundown started. Why did I think?
Welcome, everyone, to the Afternoon Rundown, the show where you decide what we talk about every afternoon. The big boys, they're locked, they're loaded, and they're ready to look at the tickers as decided by you. But the only way to get your tickers on the Afternoon Rundown, you got to get into the chat and you got to vote every day for your favorite tickers. Make sure to throw in that $sign, though, before the ticker of your choice. Let's look at all four major averages. And yes, all four major averages are barely negative. Starting with the NQ here, down 0.07. Exactly the same look on the ES, with the Dow faring a bit worse here, down 0.14. And the Russell 2000 faring the worst of the bunch, down 0.4% on the day, but still above that 2,500 point area. EXO, the first ticker as decided by you guys, that wasn't even close, up 103%, but off the highs. We reported to you guys on this one in the morning with the tie-up with Meta, or excuse me, with a tie-up there with Applied Digital Corporation for the proposed business combination. So guys, EK, SO, 1270 high, trying to hold 11 bucks.
And that symbol comes up. Like, I just want to drop in a nasty Nas to Esco to Escobar. Now he is Nostradamus. Like, that's, but it's not Esco. It's like Exo, like exoskeleton or whatever the heck, something different. Anyways, Nas was great, legend. I don't know, top 10 for me. Maybe not for everybody, but be in the top 10. Not the Mount Rushmore, be in the top 10. EXO is in the Mount Rushmore of things that you could buy this morning today, and you would have done extremely well if you bought it at the open. What's crazy about this, it's not even, what's the struggle for a better way to say this? It's not even a trash small capper. I just never have a better way to say that. Like, it's not a bad small capper. It's not a ridiculously awful daily chart. Like, it's actually, look at the quality structure. Like, look how far along it was sort of holding and struggling at that dollar. Then once it broke back out, clean break, first pullback. Like, the first pullback from this move actually holds its support, and then continues to hold. And then you have like the prior resistance at $6. We're just gapping above that now, so it's pretty solid, man. No questions asked. And I get it. Some people will say, I see in the chat, like, some people are saying Nas is top 5. I don't know that I can go that far. I'm a Nas fan. I don't know if I can get him into the top 5. It's one of those things that, like, it's always constantly changing for me. But as far as EXO, for me, Rakim is number 1. Rakim is absolutely number 1. Eminem would be number 2. Oh, yeah. Everything after that, I struggle to put an order on. I know I have those guys at 1, 2. As a group, I have Tribe Called Quest in there. No questions asked. If you're talking about MCs, then fine. You can put Talib in there if you want. But I just rather say, okay, let's just go with the group in that particular case. And then I got Pac. I'm a Tupac fan for sure. And I'm a Pac over Biggie guy. But again, that's just me. It's hard to, because like when you have those guys in there, there's like 4 or 5 other dudes that I could throw that I'm a gigantic fan of. I'm gonna say DMX, but I could easily say like a bunch of other names. But I'll put DMX in there before I would throw Nas. So it's hard for me to get Nas in the top 5, and I think DMX is criminally underrated. And look, you could go, like, it doesn't even matter, like my 5, your 10, whatever, as long as you love what you love. But that's just me, and I can't put anybody that's like more recent than that. I'm an old man, so yeah, this somehow went from EXO, which is a good-looking small cap stock, to like my top 5 like hip hop artists. Outside, or Dylon. Dylon needs to be in there somewhere.
I mean, earlier you mentioned that Dylon is all 5. So.
Because he spits hot fire.
Yeah.
Not a mercy. Oh, Dylon is.
Oh man.
Dylon is
Yeah.
legit.
So when it comes to EXO here, EXO Bionics Holdings, I think again came to my attention, I guess in the pre-market session here, and then as well as when Sharif was kind of getting involved here. I like the push of this pre-market high. Even opening range highs gave you a decent opportunity here. So what I'm seeing, Neil, with some of these small cappers is that structurally, in terms of a technical hold, they kind of give you a lot of information.
Yes.
Right. So opening range high breaks, consolidates for a little bit, doesn't really look back, second leg, right? And then take a look at this high as well, pulls back in pretty decently, holds 10, reclaims, pushes higher to 12s, pulls back into 11s, kind of that same area where it rejected off of. Resistance now turned into support, and then we start to kind of lose that a little bit as the day goes on and as the volume kind of dwindles off here. So seems like the morning session is full of opportunities on some of these names. I'm definitely going to continue watching this one here when it comes to some of the small caps. Like I said before, I do want to start to get a little bit more involved in some of these because it seems like some of the moves sometimes are very straightforward. But you know, I still have a lot to learn.
Okay, I got to do one more because Jay Bronson in the chat was like, yo, Busta Rhymes is one of the best all time, convince me otherwise. And I'm going to throw it out there. It's just another case of that old PTA, baby. You got to know Busta Rhymes, dude was legit from Leaders in the New School. And like when you heard him, like I'm talking about when I was a kid. So that was a very long time ago. But let's just say if you only know him from now, dude was ridiculous and always has been. Like crap, like see that's the thing. I don't like him and Nas. Like they're very different. That's what's so cool about music in general. Forget about hip hop. That's what's so cool about music in general. It's kind of like trading. Like you can trade penny stocks, you can trade big cap stocks, you can trade different sectors, and like everything can be like one person can love doing one thing, one person can love another. Someone can like swing trading. Doesn't matter. Same thing with music. Like you could love like 10 dudes that I've never even heard of. Like someone could tell. What's a guy from now? Like, give me a name.
So there's a
name like right now, like a mumble rapper.
Well,
like,
I don't know about
people
a
love
mumble
that
rapper.
stuff. Who?
Future, maybe? I don't know.
Future. Okay, so I don't know. Look, you're gonna at me. I don't know much about Future. I promise you, like, great. I love that people love him. Like, there's music my dad loves.
Oh, Black Thought, yes.
It's just that's what's so great about music.
Black Thought for sure. Have you heard of Black Thought? He's like a freestyler.
No.
Oh my God, this guy's definitely got some bars. Yeah, I'll send you some of his stuff. Kind of, you know, a little tinfoil suity, but definitely some good stuff. Definitely some bars there, for sure. But yeah, no.
Twista. Oh, Fuchsnickens from back in the day for me.
There's a dude that I've discovered his sound recently, and I'm vibing to it. It's just more of a melody than anything. His name's Lith.
Lith?
L-I-T-H-E. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's it. It's a guy from Australia. Yeah. So.
What I know about Australia is that everything is trying to kill you. The spiders be gigantic. Everything is poisonous. I don't know what the next name is on the list, but we should probably get to it. So, you know, we hold Sharif here for way too long sometimes. What's number 2 on the list here? Because I was surprised that EXO was number 1, to be honest with you.
You won't be surprised about this one. Hey, there's Sia. She's getting ready. Silver, Neil, SLV, second on the list here with a nice rebound after yesterday's sharp sell-off. So after Monday's sell-off with spot prices up about 6 2/3%. iShares Silver Trust rallying here, reflecting that 150% year-to-date gain that silver has accumulated. It's also driven by Chinese demand and supply deficits, as we talked about. The 1st of January will be when China starts restricting the export of silver. Many comments about that and the negative effect that it could have on the industrial process, guys. So SLV, 70.76 high, 68.03 low.
Like, remember in training day when Alonzo was like, you can shoot me, but you can't kill me. That's yesterday in silver. Like, you could all day long, they could sell the living you-know-what out of it and all the panic and all this nonsense, and it still goes squeezing today, back up 6.5%. I get it, we're still down from the highs, but down 10% yesterday, relief rally today. Now, part of, like, I'll be real, part of the reason I was only looking long today was because it was SSR. So we've talked about this before. When a stock is down 10%, that day and the following day, the uptick rule is in effect, where you need the last print to be an uptick to sell to the bid. Again, like it is a rule. It's kind of silly. I'm not a huge fan of the uptick rule, but I understand the reasoning behind it. I'm just not a huge fan of it. I sort of believe like that you should just have more of a free market. Like if shorters want to short, let them short. Like to me, like here's one last thing, and then I'll talk about the silver trade for a second. You can't tell me that the uptick rule is necessary to stop from aggressive shorting when naked short selling is a much bigger problem and a much more unethical thing than simply a stock is going down, so I want to short it. What are we even talking about here? Like naked short selling has a much bigger effect than that. So day traders want to hit the bid to go short temporarily and got to buy back for a profit. No, naked short selling distorts the market. One, you can make arguments about short selling, but one's way worse than the other. One should be more addressed by the market, but I'm just a trader. So I shouldn't argue about that too much. We'll leave that one alone for a second. So outside of all the VWAP stuff and the cool stuff this morning, right now it's just about 70 holding on SLV. Right now 70 is holding. We haven't been able to break past prior highs. I'm slightly bending a rule here. I thought I got rid of this trend line to put the VWAP trend line on. I normally would not be involved in this hold at 70. As you can see, like I bought on the trend line dip and then covered it and then immediately start to hold the 70 even. It's like, oh man, like that's a prior support level. I'll give it a shot off of that level. So I'm reloading off the level right now. And that's sort of where I'm at with this. Like I'll just trade it off of the level as long as it wants to hold, but it is breaking the trend line, and I do not want to fight past that line. I said 2 days ago, or I certainly said yesterday, that down day I don't necessarily care as much about that down day as opposed to what happens after the fact. Volume might not be where I would want it to be on this buyback up because it's much lower than the prior 2 days, but it's still going to be a productive day here for silver on a pushback. The only blemish would be how light the volume is relative to the last 2 sessions. That would be the blemish on this green day as a recovery, and it hasn't really fully. I would like to see it also close easily above 70. That would be a pretty big deal. I think that 70 defend is going to be important.
Yeah, definitely. I think getting involved in silver today is definitely one of the trades to be had. We saw some great price action again in the morning session, coming in off of the open, kind of defining a bit of a range, building up into range highs with higher lows, breaking out of a flat top high for the continuation into 70, pulling back aggressively multiple times and holding that 70 like a champ, and now continuing to kind of hold and consolidate. 70, 50s potentially on the horizon, day high at 70, 76s. This is in and around that area where we had a bit of turbulence on Friday before pushing even higher into the close for 71, 72s in the after hours. So yeah, definitely if we continue to push a little bit higher, I think this Friday close could be very interesting. Let's get specific. What is that Friday close coming in at? That's 71.12. So today's high didn't quite get there just yet. 70, 76s as of right now, Neil. But higher highs, higher lows, structure break, holding, held VWAP, holding 70 pretty well. Everything I'm seeing is that stair step, bid stack, whatever you want to call it, bit of a squeeze action as well when it does take aggressive bids. So you gotta be careful a little bit if you are kind of taking scalps the other way. But bigger picture, this thing is definitely squeezing. This tape right here was pretty significant. Tape on Friday was very significant as well. And like you said, people probably thought it was done yesterday. Maybe getting in a little too early. Trust me, I know everything about front side shorting. Maybe not everything, but definitely been burned on it enough times to be like, yeah, no, I do want to take the intraday short for quick scalps yesterday, but just in case it might be it. But when we come in and gap up above prior day's highs today, bid is back on, man. So I do have to respect that. And I've done my best to kind of, get involved at places where I think are somewhat significant here. So far, the breakout of that 69, I think it was 35. That was prior day high. No, not prior day's high, but prior high on the day. That breakout was very significant. Now we're holding structure above 70. I think this could be poised for a little bit higher, but I don't know. We'll see.
What was that?
That was the Joe laugh. Yeah.
So that's actually Joe's voice.
It's not Joe.
Oh, it's not Joe's voice. Oh.
It's a meme.
Hold on a second.
It's that
Okay, well,
guy.
which is, because Ramin in my ear just said that is not Joe's laugh, and Sharif is saying that.
No, it's mocking his laugh.
it's
Because he
mocking
laughs.
his
He laughs like that sometimes. That's what I think. That's what they mean.
I've never heard him laugh like that. That's cat.
It's a meme.
gotta make him laugh
that
a
Joey
couple times,
likes.
I don't
Yeah.
think he laughs like that.
Well.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha.
I mean,
it's
he does have a
it's
distinct laugh.
that He has. Okay.
He does have a distinct laugh. I mean,
Yeah, I don't know whose laugh that is, but apparently it's a meme. And apparently, again, I'm going to make an educated guess here and say that we might be going, I'm just going to hit a button for what I think the next symbol is going to be. Is that right? Reeves, did you see this? Look at the program monitor. Is this guess correct as to the next symbol on the list?
oh, slap that 49. Let's go. Edge A on 49s too.
It's almost like I knew.
Perfect segue there. AST SpaceMobile up nice 6 1/3 here during the midday. Look, this is the company that launched that satellite last week into orbit. They are doing basically satellite to cell service, right? Without any modifications to the cell phone. Today, the company coming out saying they want their constellation to be bigger, as well as the current satellite they launched. They expect that to be operational sooner rather than later. Separately, I want to show this video over here, if I can, before we go over to the boys. This video was just released by Tesla. Just give me an opportunity over here to move this over. So this video was just released by Tesla during the midday. It's supposed to be recapping everything that Tesla has achieved year to date. But what's catching everybody's attention is the robo-taxi is now under production, full-scale production, says Elon Musk. So just be on the lookout there. Some news coming here from Tesla during the midday.
When you just said, "Aw, geez," Fabian, I want when Morty says, "Oh, geez," like the way
Oh,
Morty says
yes.
it, I want that key. That's the button I want. If Joe gets to have a laugh, I want that one. If I make a keystroke here, if I lose on a trade, I want to hit that button because Rick and Morty is fantastic.
I'm dropping everything else.
But
I'm working on that right
that
now.
being said, that being said, ASTS, I'm going to throw this up here just to show you I like this trend. Now, the breakout move might not be fully operational. Okay, what is
happening?
that?
What is happening?
Whoa, what the heck? Oh, shit.
Production, right? So Cybercab being produced.
Oh, I love how they do the Cybercab in the cyberpunk font. That's beautiful.
That's legit.
Nice.
I just heard CSA, have you seen Tron?
Tron is so good.
The new one or the old one?
Both of them.
Okay, I haven't seen the old one.
Oh, there's Tesla's next.
I feel like Neil judges me every single day.
Sia, that honestly,
Welcome
that
to
is
the club,
probably one of the greatest things I've ever, to actually hear somebody that's not my age say that the original Tron is better. That's amazing.
It's just.
That's what I love to see. But no, what's really cool about that is like, look, they're both great movies, and technologically, obviously, the new Tron's gonna look so much cooler, but they both have great things about them. Like I would like Blade Runner. Both Blade Runners are really good. Like I'll make the argument neither one is quite as good as the book. And look, man, I'm not doing a 6. That's not a 6-7 thing. I'm literally saying either. How else am I supposed to say either or?
Know what that means.
Nobody knows what 6-7 means.
It gets the people going. Gets the people going.
I can't even win. You have to understand that, like, my daughter is 8 years old. So if you think that you've been dealing with that a lot, trust me when I tell you, like, it's like up here, man. It's out of control in our household. I can't utter anything. If she was watching this right now, she'd be literally going, like going crazy, and it'd be the cutest thing ever. Only when she does it. What was I even saying?
Oh,
What were we talking about?
there goes the
before?
bull.
I know we're talking about Tron. We're talking about a stock before this. No, what? Tron is great. That's what it was. It was a Cybercab.
Cybercab, yes.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was a Cybercab. No, like I think this is going to be huge for Tesla. I know we're supposed to talk about ASTS, pull up a daily chart, love the trend line, but it's not actually breaking out yet. It's just a bounce off of this 50 period, which I think has some room to go. So I think you look at this as a day two play tomorrow. And now let's segue into Tesla. If you're looking at Tesla right now, understand that there is a ton of competition in the robotic space. So there've been some pretty impressive headlines and videos coming out of China with regards to whether it's XPeng. Their robot looks pretty cool. And it feels like when it comes to production and making things at scale and cheap, like we already know Tesla's pulling off a bunch of things like that here that no one else can do, but like China's at it again. And some of what their robots can do is, like they might beat Tesla to getting an affordable, I don't know what it'll be able to do, but like an affordable robot, just because there's certain things that they can pull off production-wise that make it incredibly difficult. Now the US, like here, you're gonna have advantages in more advanced AI, and overall you might have better quality because of that, but at the same time, that it might not mean you're first to the market. So Tesla's still in a bit of a downturn. I think we're still waiting for that 50 period to hold up in a couple of days or so. Maybe next year we'll be buying it at 444, but just not today.
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's talk a little Tesla. I just showed you the video there of the recap, the year-end recap there with that was posted on Tesla's website. It shows the Cybercab under production. We've already seen that car on the streets of Austin, widely speculated that it'll be on the road sooner rather than later. Today, a couple of comments on Tesla. Baird reiterating their outperform on Tesla, maintaining that same $548 price target separately. Tesla did publish late Monday a delivery consensus of sell-side analyst expectations that call for about 422,000 units. We are waiting for the fourth quarter forecast or fourth quarter deliveries numbers. We still don't have that yet. That would be, though, that 422,850 units would be down 15% from a year earlier. Separately, it's expected them to post 1.64 million vehicles delivered in 2025, which is less than the 1.79 they delivered in 2024 and far less than the 1.8 it sold in 2023. So Tesla, another down day today, guys, down 0.25%.
Tesla, a bit of a down day, but we'll talk about that in a quick little second. But first, I want to give a shout out to OG. Are we ready? Fabian, man, you know what's up. We got to talk about OGen, my friend, in a quick little second here. Let's give a shout out to them, OGEN, on the NYSE. Why? Because when seconds count, we don't have time to just treat symptoms. NYSE-listed Origenics is rewriting the rules of neurological care. They're looking to develop the first FDA-approved treatment for concussions. You can find more information by checking the link in the description or book a meeting with their team today. Sometimes a company tries to do important work to change the world, and I would tend to think it's at least a cause that anyone can get behind. But I want to shout out to OGen for the continued sponsorship. Concussion, very serious thing, for sure. Not as serious, but I have to, Machiavelli put something in the chat saying, we do need a poll today. And it was that, is Joey Options sitting on a beach with his laptop trading options, or is he actually relaxing this time? My vote would be that Joe has checked the market, but he hasn't actually traded. That's what I'm going to go with. I think he's probably checked the market. I find
he's definitely checked IBIT, that's for sure.
At least once. I try to do my best,
times.
But I don't think, okay, oh shoot, I have traded on vacation. Never mind. In my long term, I did. Spring training doesn't count. That's different. Like when I'm in Europe, I've never actually made a trade while I was like on like a real vacation. I don't know about you. Like you completely shut off?
Yeah, if I have my laptop, the thing is I do look at charts. I still look at charts on my phone. Like TradingView, like the alerts are still there. I'm still kind of watching. Keeping an eye on is definitely the bare minimum that I kind of do. But sometimes I disconnect. Sometimes I disconnect.
You have to.
For a few hours.
Want to transition? Tesla has disconnected from VWAP. Tesla has disconnected from the bid. Tesla has disconnected from any reference of support that the market has. This is Tesla. This is the Nasdaq. One of these things has higher low and a boring consolidation with a upward trend. The other one of these things is Tesla, that has been trending down since a monster V-shaped recovery this morning, and we are losing the bid as we speak. Rona in the chat, Sean will be back tomorrow. He's not sick or anything. I know a lot of people have asked. Gia has a hockey tournament. His daughter, anyways, I say Gia, but it's his daughter, has a hockey tournament. So they're in Buffalo right now at a hockey tournament. So he's being a dad. That's what he should do. That's what you got to do. I know, but Tesla losing VWAP, downward trend. I'm looking at this, and I'm in a trade from earlier in Intel, but I'm looking at this and saying, that's 3 points on a trend line now. I'm shorting into this thing the next time it comes up, and I'm willing to reverse this afternoon. But Tesla, I'll leave it at that. I already said I think you can get down to 444. And I think that will be a support on the higher time frame. But for today, this is what I'm looking at with Tesla. Lower highs into this 459. The delivery numbers we expect when we get those, they're usually at the beginning of somewhere in the first few days of the month. We're expecting some disappointments there. That hasn't really been a big deal for them. We'll see if they're able to buck that, hold that trend where we get bad or weak delivery numbers and it tends to not matter. That's been fun times. I don't know if that's still applicable after we just turned off 500.
Yeah, no, I think I'm just looking at the daily here, Neil, and that 500 was a bit of a failure to follow through. We didn't quite get there, but an attempt was made, and then just aggressive selling since then. So I was just like, yeah, how many times do I need to see Tesla sell off aggressively without really following what the market is doing for the most part? In multiple sessions, we talk about selling off in the intraday, selling off in the pre-market, selling off in the after hours, and not only that, selling off in Blue Ocean as well and holding some of those levels in the intraday. So that's interesting information as well. But yeah, a little bit of a pullback. Maybe we see that 450 on the horizon if we continue within this trend here on TSLA. When it comes to the intraday, I was talking about this one in the pre-market here. Nice little tight consolidation after a gap up, and I was like, I'm going to keep it simple. What will happen if this range breaks? I definitely want to get involved, and that came in pretty aggressively and gave you multiple opportunities if you were kind of looking at the short range break lows of the pre-market, breakdown of prior day's close as well, gave you a decent chunk of the move. The reversion was quite nice as well. Coming back into those highs, the reversion is coming right back in as sellers step right in. They were here yesterday, they were here off the open, and then off of these 460s, they're here once again going into the end of the day. So that's what I have here on Tesla.
All right, guys, let's go on to Intel. Doing really nice here. Off the highs, 38.26, trading at 37.58, up 2.5%. There's no specific news catalyst today for Intel, but there was multiple Chinese headlines with respect to chips. Intel could be benefiting from that somewhat, but there was also this headline here, bullish option flow detected in Intel, about a little bit less than 292,000 calls trading at 2 times the expected and implied volume, increasing about 2 points now up to 54.69. The January 2nd weekly $40 calls and the February 26th $40 calls are the most active options, with total option volume in those strikes about 56,400 contracts, guys. Put call ratio is 0.19. Earnings expected the 29th of January.
Yes, sir. And look, Intel, the bottom's in on Intel. It has been for a while. Whether or not this recent bottom is in, I'm still a little bit skeptical of it, but it's starting to look like this has really held up pretty well. So this is what I mean. That bottom at 19, it's so incredibly distinct that I think, we can put that one in the rear view. Like you could pull back into 28 and it still looks pretty good. So Intel, since the government took a stake, has been fantastic. NVIDIA's got a stake now. This higher low looks pretty solid. It's looking even more solid. But today was a good example of it's okay to be wrong. It's not okay to stay wrong. It's a saying I probably don't say enough on this show. I'm going to get rid of this, but I don't need it out there. I waited. Look, I'm going to short it off the 37.5. That's the level I put in. So I shorted it off a pullback off of a level this morning, which was $37.50. So I was intending on shorting it if it failed that level, so I did. I took the short underneath, it broke out, I got away from it until it actually set up. And it set up, it just so happened to do so with the even dollar. It broke that trend, I jump in, by now you know the game, short it, essentially try to bid out when it's finding support levels, maybe a bit early here, but certainly was right when there were buyers at 37.70, and then now into VWAP. I'm looking to hold through VWAP, don't know where the bottom is gonna be, outside of potentially where it stalled when I got in before, which is about 37.30. So that's where I would target for the out. All of that doesn't change the fact that Intel has been on a nice turn. The 50 period did lose today for Intel. So I'm not completely convinced that we aren't headed a little bit lower overall before re-breaking out. It just feels like this pullback might not be done. You have higher highs and now you're getting some higher lows. I'm just indeterminate as to whether I should be starting to be a little bit more back into the bias long on Intel. Because since here, anyone that watches the show, when Intel gets into a downturn, I come in every single day looking for a short setup when it's doing this. And then when it turns, you're like, okay, we'll stop looking for the short for a bit till it makes a high. And I'm starting to think maybe I'm close to thinking that, which I probably should be. It's looking like it should start being, hey, let's defer to the long until proven otherwise on Intel. Today, the short happens to be working out for me. But I'm thinking I should change that opinion after this strength today.
Yeah, I think we kind of came back into some of these prior levels. We had this strong flush here from 37s just at the beginning of last week, and a stronger flush coming in on Wednesday, and that got bought right back up, Neil. So 35s reclaimed during the intraday, and then we kind of held 36s, and then today we hold 37s, push all the way up to 38. So yeah, a little bit of a quick move on a multi-day frame, and a beautiful, beautiful reversion coming right back in, breaking back below, I guess I don't have VWAP on this chart, breaking back below VWAP coming in here as well. So yeah, decent leg up and leg down on Intel, kind of following some prior levels as well. So you can see here prior, talking about last week, supply coming in at the beginning of the week in and around the same area. We do break out, only get about 26 pennies above 38s, and then it's coming right back in 37.50s right here on Intel on the day today. So yeah, decent opportunity going both ways on a name where, yeah, I didn't really expect anything crazy to happen, but we talked about it being a little bit of a technical push on the day today.
We missed a few super chats.
Okay.
Apologies here. I'm going to try and get to all of them. Well, I'll get the first one for sure we missed. This might have been right at the beginning of the show because I don't remember seeing this. Thank you every day, 2978. That's the new YouTube where everyone's name turns into these generic things is kind of frustrating because like it got fixed and then it's back to normal because no one's really probably choosing that. The growth of the studio is looking great. Thank you very much. Is it possible quick outlook on BW and what our y'all's thoughts are? Okay, so first off, I always say this. If it's ever a stock that I have quite literally never looked at before, I can cop to, I'll always say it, I have never looked at Babcock and Wilson, which I only know now, but I can quickly give you my thoughts because sometimes I'll call up a stock and I have nothing to say about it. However, what I can tell you about this one on a very cursory look is that's a pretty easy pattern to diagnose that it's been in. So there's your upward trend, and then it goes into this like descending channel that it's trying to break out of, which is probably why you're asking, because like, is it breaking out right now? You don't just break out flat levels sometimes. Sometimes you will have an ascending or a descending wedge, and then it'll break out that way. But this is a daily chart, and on a daily chart, simply wicking above is meaningless. If this were to close underneath $6, then it'll resemble these days, as opposed to a clean breakout. So yeah, you need to close probably at least above 625, confirm it tomorrow, and I think you have a secondary move. Most of the time people are asking because they're already in. So like if I'm in, I'm playing this channel, I'm long, and then if it loses this top of the trend line, I trail out of it. That's just how I would roll, but then again, that's just me. We'll get to those other super chats in a second when we come back from Sia, who has great taste in science fiction.
Thank you so much. It's so nice to feel appreciated. So we're going to quickly go through some things here. The FOMC minutes came out at 2 p.m. today. We know that there was a divide amongst the 3 committee members who decided not in favor of the members not voting in favor with the rate cut. The next meeting will be taking place on the 28th of January in 2026. Also, as of 9:45 a.m. this morning, the Chicago PMI came out, and the number came out 7.2 greater than last time, which was also projected to be at 39 and has surpassed expectations. Let's take a quick look at certain headlines for today. SoftBank has fully funded the $40 billion to OpenAI. As of today, SoftBank shares on the YTO are up 1.9% currently. And as I mentioned yesterday, the company has fully liquidated its $5.8 billion stake in NVIDIA as of last month. Silver. The price of silver makes a rebound after taking a dip in the market yesterday. The price has reached $80 an ounce as of today after being 8.7% down yesterday. The precious metal is up 7% today. And on the other hand, gold futures too have recovered from a sharp Monday sell-off, currently up about 1%, and copper up about 2%. Also, Meta has acquired Manus, an intelligent agent firm. So the Singapore-based developer is a general-purpose AI agent claim developer. I mentioned that earlier this year it had achieved around $100 million just after 8 months off the company's launch, and its revenue run rate has exceeded $125 million. Currently, Meta stock is up 1.3%. That's all. Back to the guys.
Thank you very much, Sia. And I did promise I would do this when we get to these pretty quickly. First, from Ian Rispetto, Super Chat. I think they're going to close down the studio again unless Dylon fetches that sugar. Factually incorrect, Ian. It was the sugar cookie and or Cambodian breast milk. And if you know what I'm talking about, then you know. And if you don't know, then you think I'm a weirdo, which is fine because it's almost, if it's either science fiction or some kind of a reference to Chappelle's Show, which is, that's exactly what it is. And then Ian Rispetto again with another super chat. OG Tron the arcade game. You are not wrong about that. But I date myself enough without bringing up Tron the arcade game, so I'll leave it at that. It's fantastic. For sure. And yes, I played it. I did play Tron in an arcade. There was an arcade. There was I lived very close to a 5-minute walk from a mall. Oh, wow. That was quickly. Okay, well, I'll get to that in a quick little second, but that 70 just came out here on silver. So once 70 broke, I'm gone. And this could be headed to VWAP right quick. So very, you got to have your stop. That was very distinct. I heard you punch out manually there?
No, my stop was in, but I saw the tape and I was like, I'm not even going to, I hit it anyways.
Yeah, sometimes that happens where my stop was in and triggered on that move, but instantly, look how quickly we lost that bid when it did. And again, David Tretsiak, I saw that. You said trade of the day, Intel to 37.25. I'd hope so. I absolutely hope that is true. If it gets all the way down to 37.25, it's kind of where the target might be. Don't have the top on this one because that didn't really have a setup up there. But that move in silver has got to be the real play. SLV, I should say. That move in silver futures is going to be interesting if we get back into VWAP. Remember, this isn't just VWAP now. This was the morning resistance. Every single put, most of the pushes were stalling out right at about 69.3. The big breakout happened at 69.3. And then, of course, we end up breaking down when VWAP sits at 69.3. So if we're going to bounce somewhere, you would think it would have to be there. And also the futures here trying to make a bit of a move to the downside. We haven't really broken this little, I always just draw these for myself so you can get a sense. That's not perfect. Look, that's whatever. It just has to be a line of best fit. When you look at the channel that we've been in throughout lunchtime, it's slightly upward sloping on the Nasdaq. But if we lose that, start breaking down, have some candles open and close underneath, then I think we get some serious weakness. So I wouldn't necessarily be favoring short yet, but it's getting pretty close. God. As silver's really starting to come down here.
Holy, dude.
Oh my goodness. Why didn't I have...
swipe.
Wow.
They're just chasing it now.
And it's SSR.
These are real sellers. These
are real sellers.
These are real
short
sellers.
sell restricted. The uptick rule is in effect. So when it's pounding down, when the bid is getting hit like this and it's SSR, that essentially means you have a bunch of people with long positions that are hammering this bid right now because the shorts can't really get in unless it ticks up. So that is legit selling that's going on here in SLV. The only way you can get
stick to reversions, man. I'm out here trying to take continuations.
I should have reversed that myself.
I'm thinking about this and I'm like, yeah, this is not looking good. But I got to try to trade with the trend.
Well, you can do both. There's no perfect way.
Maybe sometimes the trend is the reversion. Like, I'm
Not
being
wrong.
serious.
No, she's
like,
not
I
wrong.
think this is food for thought.
No, she's not wrong, definitely. Because when the reversion comes in, the trend has changed. The trend that was prior is no longer. There is a new trend.
That's the whole idea.
So-
well, it's like the start of a new trend.
Yes.
Yes, I would tend to agree with that. But like, it's
boy.
a tricky thing to pull. Like,
Yeah.
you have to have a time frame that works for you, like rules. So like, you can't just draw any old trend line. Like, it took a lot of time to figure out what works best for me. You'll hear me say one thing with trend lines very often. On my 3 minute, if it's on my lower time frame, the 3 minute, I need to have 3 very clear points of support in an upward trend that I'm basing it off of. They need to be clear. Like, it can't be all willy-nilly. This is still very heavy. We're already at VWAP,
what's
and
crazy?
it's not even looking.
I just looked at my punch that I tried to punch in, so it had already stopped me out, and then I tried to punch short, and it still missed me. Well, because it's SSR. But
It's SSR. That's part of the function of it. Leanne, Dr. D. Sorry.
Good Lord.
Tradi Valdez. Oh, sorry, I'm butchering the name. That's my bad. Leandra D. Valdez. Like, what am I looking at? Neo, I love the show, but sometimes you seem to need something to talk about, and there are tickers and tagging, and no one answers me. Sometimes I feel bad. Neo, can you look at Neo, please? So we always try our best. What I will tell you is, none of us are professionals in broadcast or anything like that. We just trade and we try to put on a good show while we're actively trading and looking for opportunities. It's not that easy. And then you're also trying to look at the chat while I'm watching the tape of silver go nuts. Like, there's a lot going on. We're never intentionally trying to miss out. What I would say about Neo, and I know we're going to be going to, it's a Tuesday, so I know we have Brian Shannon coming on through. So Neo, I think we said this yesterday, Neo is Neo is in the midst of a breakout off $5, and it was continuation today. The downside to this afternoon is it's the afternoon, it's a Chinese ADR. So unfortunately, I think today's move is done, but very clearly, look at the consolidation at 5, look at the breakaway, it's a 200-period moving average that it's gone away from, and you've almost got back to this key $6 level. Just keep in mind, the Chinese EV stocks all do their delivery numbers at the beginning of the month. So effectively, you'll get like one more day of trade, and then you've got the delivery numbers. So I'm not saying, I would ring the register if I was long off $5 here, take something off going into the deliveries just to be sure. But yeah, I think it's a technical breakout that I'd put 0 stock in this afternoon, because oftentimes what will happen with the Chinese stocks is there's your move up, lunchtime hits, nothing. Lunchtime, sometimes you'll get a little bit of action, but for the most part, you're going to find a barcode somewhere in these in the afternoon. That's exactly what you found here. Every now and then, you will get a secondary move, but most times it's best to then look for what you're thinking about for the gap or potentially looking at a trade tomorrow. Forget about tomorrow for a second, because today and right now, we have our good friend and technical wizard, Brian Shannon. It's Tuesday, and what's amazing is, are we good? Okay, sorry, that's my bad. We are going to have him on. I thought I heard that we were good with Brian, but we're getting back in a quick second. But one of the cool things is, even with a holiday shortened week, when you think everyone's going to be off, we had Mitch this morning. Yeah. We still had Michael Moss come in through yesterday, and there he is, Brian Shannon, our good friend. First off, late Merry Christmas to you, and welcome to the show.
Thanks, Neil. You too. I took last week off, so or 2 weeks ago off rather. So I'm here and just watching the paint dry like everyone else.
Well, I want to say like watching the paint dry, but let's just jump right into silver for a quick little second, because nothing has been moving the same way. Like, if you've been looking for action as a day trader, it's been inevitable the last couple of days, whether you're looking at a miner or whether you're looking at SLV, you could be looking at gold. It's been going crazy. It just made a rather large drop and is continuing to lose the bid here. Have you been tracking it? Have you been dabbling in the space at all via the miners or through the ETF? What are your thoughts here? Because it's moving right now as we speak, and the market's not doing much.
It is surprising to see it undercutting that VWAP. I kind of thought it was going to try to hold there. That's why I never buy the dips to the VWAP. Instead, I want to make sure that it holds. I mean, you can't make sure until after the fact, but I did take one little trade in it today simply because nothing else was moving. After that gap higher here this morning, it reclaimed the VWAP and then tested it. So I purchased right here and sold. I got shaken out right here, actually. I don't know what it was I thought I saw there, but I'm out of it. It was a decent little trade. Overall, though, I mean, you've got to be super impressed with that, and I think a lot of people prematurely called this the top in this, and got their heads handed to them here the last 24 hours, basically.
So Brian, before I move on, I gotta throw this up here because we just got this. I don't know if you can you see this on the stream?
I owe my profitability, Brian, is anchored VWAP. Oh, that's fantastic. Love to hear it. That's great.
So anyone that's not watching, I'm going to read it as well. Uplift Markets, our viewer, said, I owe my profitability to Brian. His AVWAP book was amazing. Look, look, obviously Brian has a wealth of knowledge if you haven't read his books. I know you don't want to tell, you don't like to toot your horn very often. I know you're pretty humble about it, but it's a fantastic book. I know a lot of people around here that read it. We have multiple copies on this trading floor, and a lot of traders here also have the same level of respect. But thank you for those kind words. They're Uplift Markets.
Yeah, that's very nice. Great to hear.
It absolutely is. Can I get your thoughts? Oh, of course, Ramin just came by with the book, so now it's going to be sitting on the desk. Sometimes we just got to do it. I know you're not going to, so there it is. And as you can see, that is by Brian Shannon, CMT. See how, what's so cool about, Brian, this is so cool about you. Like, you're that humble that you're like, don't hawk the book. No, that's amazing that you're that humble. But can I just ask you were saying something that I want you, if you could expand on. Okay, so like the confirmation that VWAP is going to hold on silver, instead of just looking at it as a line in the chart, where sometimes you'll get bounces and consolidations, because I follow this as well. And sometimes what will happen is I'm looking for the bounce off VWAP. By the time it confirms, I missed a trade, which is fair enough. But I feel like it's so that you don't get blown out if that support isn't there, because there's a lot of other people that might be assuming the same thing. Now, do you have that same principle when looking at like a very long-term AVWAP? Like if you have a stock and you have say it's like an IPO, you've got the AVWAP from the beginning, and it's going into that level. Do you have the same level of patience like an intraday VWAP where you'd be like, I need to see a bounce first before I jump in? Or do you just trust those with a different sense of, confidence?
Yeah, I generally just view them as levels of interest, the potential area where the buyers are going to show up. Now, sometimes if we get a really strong, sharp move, like, 3% into a key level, something like that, then I might start to nibble. But even if it's a longer term one that I'm looking at, let's say, like you said, for an IPO that maybe came public 30 days ago, if it pulls straight into that, I'll wait for at least to maybe stabilize on the 1 minute chart. So looking at the silver chart here, what I would have liked to have seen is kind of similar to what I showed here, is that I bought the strength here, and the idea of that was, well, if it broke below this little consolidation test of the VWAP, then I was going to get out. And it made the higher high on those 2 minute bars. Over here on these 2 minute bars, what I would have been looking for is something along the lines of this, and then maybe gotten long like right here. And then if these were the lows, with a stop underneath there. Instead, just buying straight into VWAP, would have cost money. And here's the thing is, at least wait for, in this case, I think, a higher 2 minute high. So by that, I mean, if it breaks above the prior bar's 2 minute high, then maybe the buyers are gaining control. But now we're back below the VWAP. You have to be concerned that maybe this anchor is now going to be a trap and offer resistance into the end of the day. And we're going to see a sharper sell-off, perhaps all the way down into yesterday's VWAP.
And just for our viewers out there, yesterday's VWAP, what do you have that for support?
That level is this blue line right here. So actually, I drew that. I was looking at it wrong, but that's at about 67. I don't think it's likely, but you know, we don't get paid for what's likely. We get paid to enter the trade and then manage risk and see how much we can get out of it. If I was to, let's say, I'm not going to short it because you know the trend is too strong on the bigger time frames. But if it were to do something like this, the idea would be maybe it comes down in this fashion towards that level, and then you know, if I was to short it over here, then a stop would go somewhere like this for a day trade.
You know, it's interesting you say the 67. And, Obi, man, it's an actual level on the stock. I'm not trying to do the 6-7
No, I know,
thing.
I know.
Again, sorry, Brian, you probably, your kids are, I'm assuming, do you know anyone at the age where the 6-7 is a thing, or you're not having to deal with this?
It's the year I was born.
Okay, good. So you don't
something.
That's okay. We don't
Trust
have to,
me,
we don't
it's
have to
better
indulge in
better that you don't know. What I love about 67, and I'm talking about the actual level on SLV, is there's some confluence here. Yesterday, this was instant resistance in the pre-market when it started dropping down. And then we go back to Boxing Day, that was where the whole rally started. So like there is a support, there's a supply level, let's just say at that 67. Which was, to me, was the foundation of the long today. It was like, well, I'm buying dips into that 67, and I feel like we're going right back into that well, for sure. But I know we've been talking a lot about silver here, Brian. Is there anything, I know we're going into the year end, technically speaking, is there anything like right for the end of the year that you have sort of on the radar? I know volumes are low. We tell traders all the time, do not overtrade. This is exactly the time of year where you can get a lot of bamboozlement or just get washed out of a lot of nonsense that wasn't really that great of an opportunity. So pick your spots. But is there anything that is piquing your interest?
I mean, I've always got my name and some ideas, but actually you've got my curiosity piqued on the 6-7 thing. And how old are these kids?
Okay, so
are they teens?
So
elementary school.
It's mostly elementary school. And from my understanding, and the chat will be all over me if I get this wrong, but my understanding is there was like some kind of a basketball game that some kid went to the camera and just literally said 6-7 with this gesture. So now every time 6-7 comes up, some people say it's the height of a basketball player. I don't know what the kid was getting at, but now it's a thing. So if you say anything with 6 and 7, which believe me, in a trading show, it's literally unavoidable. Like, what are you supposed to do? Stock trades at the 67 level. Like, something gets to $167. Like, just all day long, Obi will giggle at me. My daughter will lose her mind when it happens. So it doesn't even
mean anything. It's like a new 420 Brian. Or a 69 or something. I was actually thinking that, people used to tag the number 13. Meaning, because M is the letter, 13th letter in the alphabet for marijuana. So I was thinking maybe 6 + 7 is 13. That's the new way kids are talking about pot.
You're way too. See, that's the thing. I wouldn't have even made that connection.
Yeah.
But no, from my understanding, it's literally just this one kid in some video, and it doesn't really mean anything, except it just means that you get it. Like you're in the joke.
Okay. Well, we can talk about pot because MSOS is having a decent little day here so far today. That's a good segue, I guess, into back to the actual stock market.
Well done.
So we had that big move on the Trump thing, and that completely caved in. But it came down to the 20 and the 50-day, the year-to-date anchor, and it's just above this 5-day moving average. So that's one I think that is worth watching. Not necessarily today because we just ran from 4.5 to 490. It doesn't sound like much, but that's a 10% move, right? So maybe it pulls back like this and then gets going for a little bit more continuation, perhaps up towards the anchor off that high, which would tie the month-to-date anchor near 530. So maybe that's a good one to look for a little bit of weakness and then buy on strength tomorrow. And then, of course, a stop would go underneath whatever this pullback low might end up being in here. Besides that, I mean, I missed RKT today. This one is looking good. It broke out of a nice little range in here, and I think that starts to pull back, and then you want to be a buyer on strength of this one again. It's got a large short position. I think you guys are familiar with this rocket. They do mortgages, I believe. But I could throw a bunch of names out there, but there's nothing that I'm really excited about right now.
Yeah, I'm with you on Rocket for sure, up that 3.5%. One that we maybe don't talk about as much. Certainly, I know in the meme craze, that was a very exciting stock for a day trader, but certainly you want anything that's going to be trending. We talk about the trend all the time. It has a very distinct trend to the upside. But can I just, I want to circle back and not for the previous discussion to MSOS, because that one interests me a little bit more for like, maybe we'll call this like a dead cat bounce. How much stock do you play? Obviously, I know you like the anchored VWAP. How much stock do you play in like moving averages for Confluence out of curiosity? Because whenever I pull up a chart like this, if I see something accumulating at a 50 or a 200 period, I just give it a little bit, a simple moving average on the daily, I give it a little bit more credence because I feel that that's a level where if there were accumulators in the institutional side, that's kind of a place where I think they would look to. So when you bounce off levels like that, I tend to like it a little bit more. Do you give any credence to that yourself, or is that maybe not?
I definitely do. I mean, so here on this daily chart on my screen, Sean, sorry, Sean, I'm used to talking to Sean on here, Neil, is we've got that rising red 20-day moving average, which is above that blue, dashed blue 50-day moving average. So it's good to have the 20 above the 50. They're both above the 200, which is rising. And the good thing about this 50-day moving average is you can see the slope of it has been lower. This vertical line shows me where we were 50 days ago. So as of 2 days ago, when we were down here, that 50-day moving average was rising. Now we're averaging this data out today and replacing with this higher data, meaning that in the next week, 2 weeks, that 50-day moving, even if the stock goes sideways, that 50-day moving average will also be rising, which is important to some institutions, is the direction of the 50. And we've got that green anchor, which was the April low for this stock and the market, and that thick blue is the year-to-date anchor. So like you mentioned, we've got that confluence of moving averages. And some, the way I look at it always is, people are trained, the pullbacks to the 20-day moving average often act as support. So short sellers who sold up here might be targeting that as a place to say, let's cover our short, because there's typically buyers there. Sideline money will say, hey, it's often support in there. Let's put some bids in. And then we might have the same logic for people with the 50-day moving average and the anchor off of that April low. So they're all coming together in the same place. They're coming to the same conclusion for different reasons, and it just gives us a more likely chance that when we have that 20 and the 50 and the year-to-date anchor in the same place, that we're going to find these buyers there, either short sellers covering or short sellers saying, hey, it's now down to this level that should be support, we're going to stop shorting, and buyers coming in to defend it.
Thanks for that insight. I wanted to, first of all, don't ever apologize if you accidentally call me Sean. Like, trust me, I make the mistake. Like, you fall into like habits all the time. So I know I don't get the opportunity. I used to not get the opportunity to chat with you because I wasn't doing the aftermarket show on Tuesdays. But Obi here, who's filling in for Sean, would like to ask you a question, Brian, if you don't mind.
Hey, Brian, how's it going? I wanted your insight on some of these precious metals, because it's literally a hot commodity right now across the board. We have copper pushing highs. We have platinum. We have gold. We have silver. So from a technical perspective, what do you think is the best way to kind of view some of these things? Because I'm looking at some of the higher time frame stuff on something like a silver trust here, where it consolidated for multiple years before doing the breakout and going pretty much parabolic as of right now. So it's like, how often are you kind of looking at higher time frame levels, and what are some of the technical tools that you might be using or you would prefer using when looking at commodities, because they do move at a very slow rate? And then I don't know, like I don't know too much about commodities, but we've had a parabolic move. So all of a sudden, everything unwinds and you have a crazy move. So it's just like, what are the kind of tools that you think are appropriate for when tackling some of this price action?
I think you got to look at the same things and just say, hey, we're clearly getting overbought. Here's a quarterly chart of silver since the trust was incepted, and you can see that this quarter, the fourth quarter this year, we've never seen anything like it. Yeah. Close over here, and maybe probably similar on a percentage basis. But what you don't notice here maybe is that if we turn this into a candle chart, what you'll see is that bar on that big quarter back here it was basically what they call a spinning top, I think. And we're not seeing that, of course, here in the in this current quarterly chart candle, but it's clearly just up and away. And you've got to look at it and say, don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Smart money would say, peel a little bit out of your longer term holdings. I'm looking at this little thing of silverware that I have that I've been sitting on for 10, 15 years and thinking maybe it's a good time to, melt that stuff down or sell it to the people who do that.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you very much for your insight there. Yeah, definitely. Hot commodities. I want to know, like, next time, I don't know when the next run like this is going to happen or if it's ever going to happen, but it's absolutely crazy.
It is. The weekly chart, though, is trading an inside week, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that till right now.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, when I'm looking at the Twitterverse, a lot of people are trying to look for the short because it's a parabolic move, or they're looking for the parabolic short. And I think when it comes to that kind of price action, it's very easy to get involved with the front side of the move. And we're seeing some of that happen over the past couple of days. But the selling today, right now, that's happening is it's distinctly different. I'll say that much.
Whenever I look at a parabolic, some people caught the top, it gapped down, they had a chance to cover it. Now maybe it's going to come back down, but so far yesterday we bounced perfectly from the rising 5-day moving average, which I talk about constantly, which is right here. We came in twice to that 5-day moving average, and that's where the buyers were. So I think in terms of shorting the other side, as it's coming down, we need to see something along the lines of this, where maybe it comes down like this and then traps people a little bit, but then gets stuck under that 5-day moving average. Then I think you can expect, then you start to look for, can we head down towards the 10-day moving average, the 20-day moving average down here towards that 60 level. So in other words, we maybe come down to the 10, get trapped up under the 5, and then drop down towards the 20. Something like that is what I'd be looking for.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, no, I have a I'm watching that. It's kind of a similar trend here, but more of a trend line. But yeah, you're saying that it makes a lot more sense to get more aggressive if it can actually break trend and then sustain below that effectively.
Yep, definitely.
Okay. All right.
I agree.
Cool. Thank you.
Wise words as always, Brian. Look, I appreciate you. You saw the kind words that we got from some of the viewers as well, and I know we get a lot of that. And I know we talk about metals. That's what happens to be moving right now. Before we get you out of here, could you just tell everybody where they can find you for sure, because we always get a lot of questions about that. And I've already shown off the book, which I'm now doing again.
Which is on Amazon.com and Amazon.ca for people like you guys who buy from that site. And I'm on Twitter at Alpha Trends. I've also got alphatrends.net. So, yeah, take a look there.
There he is, Brian Shannon,
very much.
our resident CMT. I'll say your family on the show now, so might as well. First of all, obviously want to wish you, happy holidays and the best, all the best in the new year. We'll talk to you, I guess, in 2026, which is like a cliche thing that people say at the end of the year to make it sound dramatic.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Take care, guys. Thanks,
Have
everybody.
a good one.
Take care, Brian. Thanks for coming out.
Bye.
We're going to go to the desk in a quick little second, but obviously if you've been tracking this, the market went from doing nothing to the silver contagion trade, let's just call it, because
catching on.
What else would you call? I don't know.
I mean, what else is selling off?
The market was everything. The market was doing nothing. Silver lost the bid, and now everything is trending down. You've got GLD lost the bid at the same moment. A couple of quick charts if we can for a second. Like I'm sitting in Intel, which was slowly gliding down, and then all of a sudden it accelerated because the overall market as well started to lose contagion. Like there's your breakdown in the Qs. In addition to that, as I said, I was a short Intel, and that's what happened. Someone just said in the chat, what about Palantir? Palantir lost the bid as well. Show me something that didn't lose the bid just now, and I think you found yourself some relative strength. Let's go to the desk with Adara.
I want to talk here about WBD. I did drop this in our chat because it came out while Brian Shannon was talking. Thanks again to Brian for that segment. But Warner Brothers, as kind of indicated earlier, now firmly reported to be rejecting Paramount's revised takeover offer. Apparently, they're going to be rejecting this offer next week. Basically, the issue here is that the board sees no improvement in valuation in Paramount's offer. They still view Netflix's bid as superior. Now, as I've discussed, one of the issues Warner Brothers has reportedly had with the PSKY offer is that it undervalues the I guess, the cable side of things. So that's going to be pretty interesting here. Either way, WBD reportedly has not made a final decision yet, but insiders are saying because Paramount won't raise their price, this proposal is, quote, dead on arrival. WBD did react positively to that report. I did drop that news in our chat as well. And now we're going to send you over to Sia for a segment.
So much, Adara. We're going to quickly look over the small cap for today. The Russell is down 2.8%. Let's take a look at a couple individual movers. I'm seeing a lot of red on the Russell today for sure. But in health tech, particularly, Praxis breakthrough with FDA as of yesterday resulted in their shares being quite up, but today they're trading 3.5% negative. In electronic tech, VICR, Vicor Corporation, manufacturer of power modules with headquarters in Massachusetts, are up 1.34% as of today after the chairman of the company, Patrizio Vinicciarelli, sold 5,917 shares. In tech services, CRDO is up 0.71% after Chief Legal Services Officer James Loftman sold 10,000 ordinary shares on the 24th of December with a total value of $1,500,000. And in retail's not doing the greatest today, but Urban also not doing good today, trading 2.19% lower today after CEO Richard Hain sold 60,000 shares yesterday, valued at almost $4,650,000. That's all. Back to the guys.
Thank you very much there, Sia. Also there for the update on Warner Brothers, if you happen to be paying attention to that entire saga. What I found interesting is we're about to talk a little bit about Beta Pro is Netflix did not lose the bid with the rest of the market. But before we get into that little bit of a tidbit, want to give a shout out to Beta Pro by Globex. Why? Because if you're a sophisticated trader and you happen to be in Canada, then we got good news for you. The largest provider of inverse leveraged ETFs has launched 6 new triple leveraged ETFs, 3x bull and bear exposure to semiconductors, U.S. Treasuries, the S&P TSX 60, and they're dropping management fees to just 65 basis points, but only till tomorrow, December 31st. End of year, everybody. U.S.-focused strategies also use currency hedging, offering a more pure representation of movement. So if you're a tactical, sophisticated trader, you want to amplify that performance, check out Beta Pro by GlobeX Canada, and good luck on your trading. As far as that, just a tidbit, because I did just say, if you didn't just lose the bid now, you've got something going potentially. Hopefully that's not a jinx to Netflix, but when the market just rolled over a little bit there, Netflix held the line at VWAP pretty tightly. So this actually is going to be potentially on the radar. I'm looking to jump out of this Intel trade at this point. I can eyeball it, but here's what I'm looking at. Since gold, and silver, I guess it was silver that started first. Since that rolled over, you kind of formed this new trend line. The second that breaks, I'm out, and I'll look for VWAP for a re-entry point. And if there is any bounce into VWAP again, I'd probably look for a shot in silver as well. So a lot of things rolled over. Just call them casualties for sure. I don't know. They caught some strays on that last move. Yeah. How else would you put it? Like, I feel like the market caught a stray when silver lost the bid there. That's the best way to put it.
I mean, at the same time, like, you can see that both the futures, they did what they were doing pretty much all day. Just went to the bottom of the range. Now we're catching a little bit of a bid here. That was pretty aggressive, man. Yes, I had a stop in right below 70s. That punches me out, and I'm just like, oh boy, I should be in this reversion here. And I just watch it just straight puke, hitting the bid. I got to be a little bit faster. Like, I don't come to my senses until below VWAP. I'm like, okay, we're below this prior breakout level, so all of these longs, they're probably going to get washed out as well. Getting involved with that 69 level and seeing if it can continue lower. Yeah, it got all the way down to 68s and some change here. 68, what's the low there? 68.30s, exactly. All the way from 69. So yeah, I got to get a lot more aggressive on this move here. Get stopped out on the initial one, get back in, cover some, double, triple up, come right back in, and I'm just like, okay, I'm just going to take a break even on the rest of it now. But that was a little sweaty, man. And I think here it just took way too long. And once it starts to kind of creep into this 70, here you can see me with my DGen ads kind of in the 20s, where it's just like, okay, dude, like this, sure, it's holding 70, but this is starting to look weaker and weaker. And my reversion senses were tingling. And I'm just like, I was telling myself, just go with the trend. Just go with the trend, holding 70, holding 70. It's fine. Just get in right here on the break. I think this is the highest EV spot to try to get in and chase into. Maybe if you're chasing, even if you're chasing like 20 pennies here into 69.80s, I think that is the best spot to get in. Sure, you can kind of finesse your way into a short in this chop. 70 halves doesn't really go through. I think that was a little bit of a signal because it kind of consolidated. We didn't really make higher lows. We pop all the way back down, hold, and then start to come right back in. So this area right here, 70.20s, maybe sure in retrospect, but highest EV, I think, is the structure break. The trade goes right away, does not look back, and you have everyone running for the fences because anybody and everybody who is long are the only participants who can actually hit the bid like that. So once you see that, that is a very important information. And then if you can try to get in on an uptick, because I was crossing down, how much is my cross? I think my cross is like 5 pennies. But even then, I don't think that was enough because I checked my order. I think I punched, so it got me out 98s. As soon as I saw that, my punch was 95s. And 95 crossed to 90 still didn't get me in. So there was it was tough to get an uptick in the first 10 pennies, I think. But I got to go back and look at the shorter time frame and see how that really came in. Maybe looking at a 1 second chart can give us a little better of a perspective here.
I found
let's take a look at this.
When you're crossing down an SSR stock, sometimes what gateway you use can matter.
I'm hitting the Frex. So Frex is just like everything.
Okay. You want to make sure.
Frex is like, I don't care. I'm going to take whatever gate I can get.
That's an important thing. Yeah. It's not like you might not get a fill anyways. Yeah. It's just that if you're trying to go short as an SSR stock is cratering, it is pretty important that you actually use a routing key. And what I mean by that is you want access to something which will sweep all books. If you're only trying to hit one book, you have almost no chance to get filled. So I just trailed out of Intel, going to look to what is next, and I promise we will look at AF. Is it AFJ? Yeah, it's I can't even pronounce the name of this company. Is it AMI? AMI Healthcare Technology, AFJK. Anyways, we're going to go back up to the desk as this name, just a word of caution, this stock is up 113%. It hasn't even done 1 million shares in volume today. So there is no real liquidity on this stock. The spread is like $2.50. It is moving like crazy, but a day trader, I would never touch a stock like this because there's no liquidity in it. For myself, like the risk is huge to get into a position. Let's go to the desk with Sia.
So electronic tech, health tech, utilities, and consumer services are looking pretty flat today. Overall, the S&P is looking a bit flat today. However, what's standing out is the bright green of the energy minerals. So that's what we're going to discuss right now. CVX is up 0.65% and XOM is up 0.37%. Oil tankers are still arriving in Venezuela despite the U.S. blockade. However, the U.S. has seized 2 fully loaded cargoes of Venezuelan oil and has ships patrolling the Caribbean Sea. ExxonMobil also has sold to BP and Van Rack after 4,000 tons of Eurobob E10 gasoline barges were traded in the session. And overall, gasoline stocks fell by about 10%, about 1.1 million tons, due to farm export activity to West Africa. Also, non-energy minerals, NEM, Newmont Corporation is almost 3% up today, and FCX, Freeport, McMoran Inc. is up 5% today, and 0.5% today, and that's all. Back to the guys.
Thank you very much.
I like Freeport.
Yeah, that WBD move is kind of going as well, right? Had one of my pod members just ask, was there news on WBD? I think Adara did report it. Yep. I think I missed it as well. Is it? Hey, Adara, was the news on WBD fresh news, or were they just reporting what, like we report of what happened this morning?
I heard something earlier, but then I was seeing it like heavily reported, and the actual move came around 3. So I heard like inklings, but this is a lot more concrete than anything I heard this morning. I am under the impression that it's fairly fresh. With that in mind, and the market certainly reacted like it was fairly fresh.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, as it goes right through the highs as we speak. Still think you want to sell that $30 chance if you get it, but that's, again, just me. I did see, is it Rona? Rona in the chat has been asking about Palantir. You don't have to spam. It's all good. We got you now. I just saw it. But first things first, remember 69 from, anyways, when silver was at VWAP, was longing at this price. Well, from support to resistance is kind of where my thought is. It didn't get to VWAP on any of these bounces. It hasn't really retraced to VWAP. So I'm looking at these lower highs and just trying to get in front of the 69 level as we speak. But that being said, you asked about Palantir. Again, probably catching a bit of a stray in the last move down. What's with the bald cam just there? That's unnecessary. I call that the bald cam. No, Palantir catching a bit of a stray when the market dipped on that silver move, but ultimately it was already pretty weak today. But look at the nice double bottom that formed. So it's got a double bottom today. That's good. The last 3 days, not so good for Palantir. And then I go back to something which is good. That would be it's attempting to bounce this little double bottom today at the 50 period on the daily. So 181.5. This is kind of where you'd want it to make the bounce if it can. So tomorrow, Palantir is making a higher low. I like the long. Like I like 50 period bounces. I like 200 period bounces. And when it confirms that the next day, you get a double bottom here and then some kind of a higher low. Like I'd probably come in tomorrow, knock on wood, looking for a quick trade through like a 185 break on Palantir if that's going to hold up. But that's a tomorrow thing. I want that confirmation we're holding above. And just to get it out of the way, tomorrow is a full day of trade. It's I know it's New Year's Eve, but the markets are open the entirety of the day. That's just how it is. I've always found it a little bit weird, but it is a full day tomorrow. Volumes are usually very, very light, especially after the opening rush. Like I expect to see, I don't have an example here on silver, but let me do this very quickly. I expect to see a lot of these types of charts, like look at Tesla, where like it's just one big initial move, and then maybe you get some barcoding after that. But like you're looking for one big move early a lot of times, and then things just settle down. So that's just my experience from what I go with. And I promised I would at some point tell you, don't miss out or don't assume what happened here. I guess I did want a very tight stop. Like, yeah, we barely broke out, but you know what? I'm kind of treating this with a tight stop, so.
Oh, there's a bid.
Well, it's so crazy. Look what happens when it goes through a key level. Like I just shorted into 69. Like look at how tight that is. And the second it breaks, look at the acceleration. Like if you're not stopping out tight, you're losing double within seconds. But capital preservation, everybody, that's what you got to do. Like you'd rather try to have those tight stops if you can. And Pops Mafia, the market is open tomorrow, yes. New Year's Day, no. Right? So it's always an observed holiday. New Year's Day is an observed holiday, so the market is not open on Thursday, but it is open tomorrow. It is open on Friday, so we will be here both of those days. That's just how we roll. Yeah, so I mean, Friday, not sure what to expect. I can't remember the last time it worked out that the first day after the New Year's holiday was a Friday. I would suspect it might mean lower volumes. Usually it's a pretty good day of trading, and usually it's rather normal most of the time, but I can't remember the last time it occurred on a Friday where you had this kind of a breakup. So,
I mean, market's hot right now, man.
But look,
I think there's going to be
silver
opportunity
today.
for
There's
sure.
tons
Exactly.
of opportunity out there.
Like coming into today, like holiday shortened week, yes. But names in play are doing things as well, right? We talked about Micron push. The long was great. The reversion came in pretty solid as well. Silver this morning. This afternoon as well, absolutely beautiful move. I mean, at the end of the day, it kind of really depends on your playbook as well, right? And the market, the reversions on the market, just wiping up, wiping down, wiping up. Sure, if you look at it from a bigger picture perspective, you're just like, yeah, this is sideways chop. But on a shorter time frame, the legs have been pretty clean and kind of, I wouldn't say straightforward, but definitely there to capture here. Let's just take a look at. I mean, silver came back up into VWAP. What's it? Yeah, I saw
wicks to VWAP, and then that whole candle down, you can't get
slaps
short.
down 20 pennies. Yeah, I saw
you can't. Like it's hilarious because when it's SSR, like you're short. When it's SSR, you're trying to short on the green candle on the way up because you're not getting it on the way down. It's frustrating to trade. Like you're having to try to get into a short position. You're essentially trying to get filled in here on the way up. When it's curling like this, good luck getting the fill. When it wicks VWAP and you want to short from 69 to 69.20, you're not getting anything until it gets down to the bottom and then it turns on you. Like this is why you heard me say this morning, I only like the longs on it or prefer the longs because it's just easier to trade an SSR name to the long side. It's just, you know, like it's not, it is what it is. Like you trade, you do what you can, but it is flat out easier to go long on these because you can basically get filled whenever you want to, whereas getting into the short kind of stinks. I hate the rule. And I'm not a gigantic fan of it, but you have to just sort of live with it. It just means a lot of the best opportunities to the downside you can't take. The other thing that's happening right now, it's about 3:30. You got the Nasdaq pulling right back into the volume weighted average or VWAP, volume weighted average price there, and starting to turn. Remember, there's a couple of things. One, Tesla, note, not turning, not even a little bit. And then I was discussing Netflix. So Netflix, as the market's turning down, Netflix is about to retest its VWAP, but it's not moving enough. The fact that it has relative strength is a good sign, but it's not really moving enough at all. So I'm still going to be looking for another opportunity in silver. I just don't see anything that's moving the way that silver is moving right now. So if there's a trade till 350, I'd rather take my shot there. Don't think I'll get back into Intel. I feel like that one's going to be done. And for those that are still watching this AFJK, it has broken $100. The spread is still $4 a spread. The offer is 104. The bid is 100 right now, up 130%. And it still hasn't even done 750,000 shares. It's nowhere close to 1 million shares. This thing is very illiquid. Somehow hasn't halted in a while, if you happen to be following along. But yeah, not a stock that I would ever try to trade. So let's see if there's a rejection of VWAP here in silver. I'll try to get in. But if I try to get it on the way down, sometimes you miss it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking maybe that move was a little too far, too fast. I don't know. We'll see what we do with VWAP. And we swipe right back up into 69.20s right there. So maybe we get a bit of a bid here. Market's catching a bit of a bid at the lower end of its range as of right now as well. But yeah, someone in the chat was saying that you can short the futures. Does the SSR rule exist on futures or no? Can I just hit the bid on? No, silver futures.
Oh, silver futures?
Yeah.
Oh, like the CME doesn't have that rule, my understanding.
Okay, that's good to know.
If that's not true, then don't at me. But to my understanding, that rule only exists.
Yeah. Okay. People are saying no. There's
you
no
can do that
SSR
on the silver futures.
Okay, that's actually beautiful.
But I've explained. So the reason why, the reason why we would trade. In real trading, why you would trade the ETF over the futures is simply they're all different. You have different risk accounts based on asset class. So you build up your risk. If you do so as an equity trader, then your US dollar buying power and risk for all your performance is based on the equity asset class, right? So you'd have to build that up in futures as well. So it ends up, if you're a trader who's made money for years and build your account up on equities, well, then trading the silver SLV means that I have my buying power for equity trading. I have my risk for equity trading. If I jump to futures, then I'm trading it with a lower risk. I'm trading it with less buying power because I have not built that up. Now, if you have built it up, then that's great. And then that would be your primary. So you are rewarded for your performance as a trader, and that's why Sean will look at the Qs. I will trade IBIT. I'm not trading spot Bitcoin. I'm trading on IBIT if I get that chance.
Okay, yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah, that's kind of how our firm works. It's market-based risk and buying power. So yeah, no, in terms of it is different for futures versus stocks. specifically, and then regional as well, because they trade the world. We have access to multiple markets, can trade all kinds of markets across the world, and then buying power for each of those markets is going to be separate as well here. As we come back into and through this VWAP, I'm looking for a bit of a reversion here. Again, strong reasons to buy. That's what I used to cover the position down here at 68.60s and 68.40s as well. But if we're going to pop back above VWAP, I'm willing to take a little bit of a stab here. Maybe we get a push into halves. We've held the quarter. Can we push the half? That's the question I'm asking right now. 69.50s. Maybe. We'll see. I don't know. I'm just trying to go with the flow here. Here's a little bit of a push. Just trying to take some quick tape scalps here as, oh, that's not the correct size. Okay, cool. Yeah, just trying to take some quick scalps here as a price action comes in on the day. Yeah, no, silver, great trading opportunity, I think, especially if you're kind of taking some of these scalps. The positioning into the prior high day break was absolutely beautiful as well. I'm definitely going to be, this is one for the books, Neil, for sure. I'm going to be journaling this. And I'm excited to do that as well because this move is absolutely beautiful. If this happens again, I'm never gonna, don't want to. That's the mental. I never want to miss an opportunity like this. I'm gonna perform at the best of my abilities when something's gonna be so technically beautiful as silver was on the day today. So definitely, like I said, one for the books. Market kind of consolidating sideways here still. Maybe that gives precedence to some interesting moves as silver is also kind of holding that range. I talked about this morning, buyers came in where? Buyers came in right here at 68.40s. Once again, they come in here, 68.40s, in and around that area. That was the pre-market reason to buy as well, where you had those aggressive sellers kind of stop in and around the 30s, 40s, 50s. That breakout of 64, 68, 64 was nice. And then once again, in the opening session, pulls back into 68s, kind of catches a bid, VWAP hold on 68.60s once again, and then VWAP reclaim breakout of this. That was really nice to punch long into. No trouble getting into that long because you're going the other way of the SSR rule. And this, man, I'm telling you, these. I check my what do you call order log, and not getting filled on that 95 is a little bit, or the 70 breakdown is a little bit of I think an issue for me. I definitely have to chase this down, especially after seeing the kind of action that it's given me here.
The problem with that is it's hard to even determine where you could have reasonably got short.
I just looked at the 1 second chart, so I did.
So you could have got it?
I could have got. I think my order crossed down to 95. That's what it was, and I hit it right after it did stop me out. So technically, I was not in a position. I should be able to put in a short order, right? I crossed down to 95s, but when I look at, we can look at the 1 second chart together here.
You always want to cross past where an even level would be. Like if you're trying to go short on an SSR name, like if you're trying to short 90, then make sure you're crossing to like 88 or 89, or, you know what I mean, like that. So every 5 cents, you almost want to be like a penny or two past that for best chance. But like, I see what you're saying.
This is the 1 second
chart.
chart.
Up,
this is the 1 second chart. So sellers start slamming into the bid here, 70 13s. Next second, this is the second that breaks down into 70, and then look. Boom, no uptick. Maybe if I go to a tick chart, maybe we see a few upticks. But the pullback, funny enough, Neil, the pullback high was exactly 95. So if I'm sitting on the ask at 95 with a short, and it didn't really do that much volume either. You can see no volume here. Now this is only limited to information of only the bats gate, so there is that as well. But yeah, it doesn't really take any fills above 95 and then pushes down a little bit further. So what I'm saying is, like, if I got lower 90, say I was crossing 10 pennies on the 70 break, it definitely ticked up from, what is this, a low of 86 up to 80, up to 92s, 93s, and then 95. So if you were sitting anywhere around 85s to 95s and you had crossed into the bid there, on that 10 penny uptick, you would have gotten filled for the short, and then you can just be risking a back through 70 on that real quick. And that follow through was absolutely beautiful, because everybody, again, running for the fences on an SSR name. I like to take that trade off of the open sometimes, where if a name is SSR, and people are hitting the bid, I'm like, I know exactly who's selling on this, especially if it's confluence with a gap down. I'm like, all right, cool. I know which participant.
Capote asked about the imbalances. So I want to tell, first of all, it's really just NIO. Early look is 1.5 to the buy side. Fubo is not a very big stock, so 780,000. You got SockSell just under a million to the downside. Oklo will be in here at 630,000, so very small. Beautiful. In about 15 minutes or just under 15 minutes, we'll get the actual imbalances. This is just the early look and not too crazy price action. But you know where you can also see imbalance information? eSignal, believe it or not. Why? Because eSignal is a one-stop shop in terms of a platform which allows you to see just about anything you could imagine. If it moves, if it's chartable, then you can find it with reliable data. Like I can just pull up the Qs here. I can go pretty much anywhere I want. As I said, you can have level 1 access, level 2, every indicator out there. And the best part about this is the first month is still free over at eSignal. So you can scan the QR code, check them out, first month free. The ability to test your strategies, back test, forward test, you were talking about 5-second charts to go over entries and exits. You can do that as well. You can use tick replay so you can find opportunities out there. Basically how you could trade better through an opportunity by watching it a second time through on the actual book. And as I said, you can have the imbalance locator. Everything is entitlement based, so you add the things you want. You don't need to have, if you don't want to, if you never trade on the Amex, then you don't need to add that entitlement. If you only trade the Nasdaq, you can get rid of a bunch of other entitlements and not have those as well. So it's very user friendly, and it's a pro platform used by a lot of traders that we know here on the show, including us, all of us, pretty much here on the show. So scan the QR code you see out in front of you. Shout out to eSignal for sponsoring this part of the show. And I am, with about 10 minutes to go, still staring down Tesla, as Tesla doesn't seem to want to break back up. We've seen Tesla sometimes have these bounces, but man, if it isn't weak the last couple of days going into the close.
Every day, sellers are dominant. I said this, like even in, I've never seen this happen before.
Well, never.
No. BL consolidation low holds in the open session as resistance. That was just an interesting piece of information.
So Obi meant the overnight market, which is Blue Ocean.
Yeah.
So you mean like the overnight low? So this.
It was sevens. No, not that. A couple.
Oh, this one. Right up here.
Yeah. 467. Was it BL? This is BL, right?
This is BL.
Yeah. Look at that low.
467.
Yeah. We hold below that in the pre-market session. So if you look at pre-market, see remain by. So take a look at the day after. Look at that 6-7 hold. Right? No, that's the day. Yeah. Look at the 6-7 hold. Come on.
Well, I'm chuckling for another reason. It's just, you know why.
Oh man, it is what it is.
No, it is what it is, and that's sort of that. You have the ability.
Interesting observation.
You have the ability to look at the overnight market for key levels as well. So whether it's Blue Ocean or
doing
not,
volume too.
That's definitely an opportunity. I guess that AFJK just went again. Oh, it's halted. Oh, they actually halted this stock at some point. Yeah, now it halts, right? Okay, yeah, logic. So AFJK is halted. This will be a volatility halt. Let's go to Adara. She's got the story here. The tap is currently indicating down, however, $3.
Should be good now. Hello. I want to talk here about this AFJK. So this IMA Health, their business combination deadline was extended as of like December 9th. So that was a while ago. Now their new deadline is January 6th, 2026. With regards to AFJK as well, Neil, their business combination was initially announced on June 20th of 2024. So it's been a year and a half coming. I mean, if we eventually get that business combined, that could be a good catalyst. There's nothing newer pressing on AFJK, and the social media attention wasn't out of this world either. Back to you.
Sometimes it's just how these work. I feel like sometimes you just want to break these out if you get a chance back through that $10 level. But yeah, it's parabolic. It doesn't necessarily make sense. And okay, based on this tap, I sincerely hope no one's trapped in this at the high. It's now indicating $91 is an open. Nope, 89. So it's kind of all over the place. Here, you guys can probably see this. Look at this in real time. I will not trade this stock personally, but it went from 90 to 88. That's the theoretical auction price, which is sort of built into our level 2. But this thing is all over the place, man. Now indicating 92.5. So I just wanted to show that to you because it was quickly moving. And if I flip to another way of showing it, I didn't want it to stop. But it's indicating a $17 drop. If you bought that peak, it could open up literally 15% against you here. So this is exactly why I don't touch these things with a 10-foot pole. Oh, we got another super chat. Let me just try to get to that. Still 8 minutes until the imbalances come in. I don't know if I'm seeing another curl in silver. Where is that super chat? Now I'm not even seeing it. Oh, here it is. There we go. I just saw it pop up there. And it's from On the Rail TV. I like that one. I'm swing trading 2 stocks, ELF, and hit the like and subscribe, everybody, because now I'll read it up here in front of me. ELF and BBAI, thoughts on these? Well, I'll look at ELF in a second, but easy thoughts on BBAI. I'll give the thumbs up for the 200 period hold. This is something like, I know I've said it, I know Sean said it, so I'll just get rid of that for a quick second. We'll talk about ELF in a quick little second. But it's been the 200 period hold. So that's the good thing. Well, you've already got the bounce off the 200, but it's rejecting the 50 period on the daily. So understandably for me, if I'm ever long off the 200 period moving average as a swing, and it looks like this, I'm scalping, I'm taking out. Maybe not all of it, but I'm certainly taking profit at the 50 period moving average where it's been rejecting. Is it good for a reload here? I usually want it the day after it holds, not as it's going in, and it's going back into your support level. But that's been the reason to go in, has been this 200 period moving average. I can zoom it out further so you can see that that has been holding for quite some time. If it loses it, at least you know where you're wrong on BBAI. And then when it comes to ELF, ELF Beauty, I think you actually gave a price here, 77.60. The other one was 558, but 77.60. So you're in somewhere in this consolidation. This is a bit different because this is not usually my cup of tea. Like I'd have to usually like something fundamental about it, or this would have to be at some kind of a historic low, not just like the higher low after like an earnings dump. Like if I'm in here after this dump, I'm trying to grab that long if I'm able to, but not necessarily after this because it's still rejecting filling in the gap. And there hasn't been any buy pressure, and it's a downward trending stock. So that's not really my cup of tea to take that kind of trade. BBAI is because it's showing you the support level, so I'm pretty confident about where I'd be wrong on the trade, which is all you're really looking for. So I hope that does help you for sure. ELF not having a very good day today. Imbalance is still pretty much exactly the same as we saw before. And like always, not like always, that's the wrong way to put it. Like sometimes, like see silver, it makes a top and then starts breaking down through the volume weighted average price.
Yes.
This is what happens. See when it, like there's your red, there's it breaking the prior bar, and you can swipe down and you just don't get filled. It's like you're filled if you just short it into this high, magically knowing where it's gonna turn. I would have no idea where it's gonna turn. I'm just trying to short it back through VWAP and I can't get it, unfortunately. So I can leave the order in and maybe I get swept up as it starts upticking here. But let me try and step. I'll move like a few cents down and see if that gets filled. No, no, no. Okay, we're gonna, oh, there we go. I moved another penny down and actually got the offer. So was able, and now look, I have another order which is crossed to the same level and did not get filled. So whatever, I'll cancel that one. I had 2 orders at 19, thinking one of them was going to get swept up and one of them got filled. Let's go to SIA and Money Talks, and I'm now short at VWAP, which probably means it's going back up because thank you, SSR.
Thank you. So the dollar index is hovering just above 98. It's been a weak month and a soft year for the U.S. currency. We're also going to take a look at the yen volatility after the BOJ hike. The Japanese yen is slightly firmer, but still weak overall, with USD JPY, which is currently trading in the 156, mid 156 area after a strong multi-month dollar rally. Markets are remaining focused on the Bank of Japan's December 25 BP hike, which to 0.75%, which is the highest this has been in the past 30 years. Also, several emerging market currencies are finishing this year pretty strongly. The Brazilian real, Chilean peso, Peruvian sol, and Mexican peso are all climbing against the dollar in a light holiday trading. Also, the Colombian peso is standing out as the most valued EM currency in December, up to 3.2% versus the dollar, up around 3.2% versus the dollar. That's all. Back to the guys.
They're actually dope.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, Obi was just talking about food and he kind of distracted me for a second because that place is right here.
Literally around the corner. I hopped off the midday for 3 minutes, walked there, came back because it's just not even 100 meters.
I think I'm getting that tomorrow.
Less than, yeah. There's some good selection. I mean, it's not the best takoyaki, but like they have some good takoyaki, especially when it's hot, solid.
No catered lunch this week.
But yeah, no, it's
Oh no,
for sure.
They have a mean bowl as well. Like they do like a nice little bowl. This
Yeah,
I know.
that's what I got. I got a poke bowl today. Relation, just around the corner there. So yeah, no, good stuff there. Quick snack. Taking leaps. Yeah, takoyaki. Yes, for sure. One of my favorite foods. Some good old takoyaki. Anyways, let's get back to the market. To what's going on?
Big 4-1. Oh, Big 4-0 nephew just said, I didn't even see Webull is under $8.
No one's looking at it.
See how it's looking tomorrow. Webull is all the way down under $8 now. Yeah, it lost $8. This is bad. It's bad. It hasn't lost. Oh goodness. Okay, so it hasn't lost the absolute low. Someone asked this morning. It's like. You still in this? I got out of this when it broke $10. The play was always off $10. It was over here when it held 10, and when I rebought it in front of 10, the first time it worked to 18. The second time I got right out when it lost $10. Man, that's just me, and I'd like to get back in. It's not giving me any reason to. Before there was support at $10. Now it's gone. It turned and rejected. Now you've got resistance at $10. And you got lower highs and lower lows and trend down. And until something distinctly changes, I don't want any part of Webull. It was a good scalp before. I just don't see any reason to be in it anymore. And it's not saying I'm completely done with the stock. I'll take another shot at it. But like for myself, that was always more of a Webull was always more of a trade off the support line than anything else. Like it's not like SoFi. Like SoFi, that's a stock that I want to buy so I can hold it for a very long time. Not indiscriminate of price, but to hold it forever. Webull, I'm like, oh, there's a support level. Let's try to make a swing trade on it. Like that was in my TFSA, which for here, it's like so in Canada, it's like a tax-free savings account. I just put like swing trades in that one. If I'm getting in and out, if I'm holding it for a longer period of time, 9 times out of 10, I'm using my retirement account to buy those stocks. So, I would put, Webull deserves to be in the other category. For me, it's only ever just a trade. Like, it's not the financial name that I would want to buy and hold. That would be like SoFi, XLF. I still own some Morgan Stanley and I own some Canadian banks. Like that's where, in the long-term account, what I prefer.
Yeah, no, I mean, some of these names.
And just Jay Dizzle, no. I will never shill a stock. I will tell you if and I'm not saying that to be like, don't talk nonsense. No, I'm just being straight up. I will never shill a stock. I will never sit there and say, I think this thing is great when I don't believe it to be true. I will tell you if I have bought something and why. Because it's a trading show and people ask us that question all the time. And I have no issues doing that, but I'm not shilling a stock. Webull was a SPAC. When SPACs show support at $10, I'll trade it off $10 because that's been a thing for a very long time. So it's just something that I'll trade it at all times. But at the end of the day, let other people shill stocks. It is what it is. If we keep talking about it, it's because hey, when things like Robinhood would come up, it's like I don't own Robinhood. I would love to tell you that I own Robinhood. I don't. I own SoFi. I owned Webull before, but I just saw something else that I wanted to. Oh, thank you. Where was it? Never mind. I saw something in the chat and I was like, I wanted to address it. But the imbalances are out, nothing significant. Ooh. The largest big cap name, NVIDIA at less than $1 million, 900,000 to buy on NVIDIA. Warner Brothers is a 1.7 million sell, which is actually kind of interesting. Riot's a sell of 1.1 million, GDX is a sell, WBD kind of stands out to me though. 1.7 million sell on Warner Brothers, and that did move it. It's not going to move a ton. Don't expect this to move dollars anymore. That's just not that. Like, it's a buyout sort of now. Outside of the bidding war, there's really not much that's going to move it like crazy. So pretty small in the imbalances. Remember, it is a holiday shortened week. Tomorrow is the end of the year. The markets are open, but volumes are going to be a lot lower. So I'm just back into this silver off of VWAP. It's not really falling apart. Like, it's gone about 10, now 20 cents in the money, looking for a bid off 69, because why not? 69 always seems to be a thing. They just moved from ones to threes and was able to get filled there. I'll take the rest out as we head back into this low. So obviously this will likely be the last trade of the day for me on SLV or anything. And I won't let this get back through VWAP. I actually have a stop pretty much on the nose at the volume weighted average price, which will be break even at this point. So we'll just look to hold this one into the close for sure. Amma Hamada, view on Pfizer. Now that is a name I have not heard in a long time. Yeah, I'll be real. Nobody asks us about Pfizer. Probably because this is what the stock looks like for the last year. No one really asks you about a stock that does this very long. But hey, look, they've got a dividend. They realized that they need to make some acquisitions to be able to shore up their pipeline, which I guess was needed for them. They really mucked up GLP, and they have to find a way to get back on track with that. It was a great stock during the pandemic. It's been trash ever since. The good news is it's making higher lows and higher highs and has regained the 50 and the 200. So maybe it does deserve a little bit more of our attention, which I would argue is definitely true. It could be not a bad place to hide out if you think the market is getting frothy. This is like a rotation into maybe some other like healthcare names that haven't run and a rotation away from tech. So yeah, it's not that bad. I haven't looked at Pfizer in a while. I actually bought Pfizer in the pandemic. There's a trader on the floor that's like, well, let's just say it wasn't, okay, he was a little bit tinfoil hat about it, but it really made a heck of a lot of sense for obvious reasons. Like, how could you not buy a company that pays a dividend that's making the vaccine that everyone's going to have to take? I was like, yeah, you're kind of right about that. I don't actually want to own the stock, but I'm buying this thing anyways. And that was really early on. He was just like, look, this is what's going to have to happen. These guys are going to have to be involved and just do it. And I don't usually buy things just because a trader says this is a good thing to buy. It looked good at the time. But yeah, Pfizer looking more interesting every day. So maybe one last out if we can get down to like 68.5 here. But the VWAP trade, just wait for it to get the VWAP and curl. Sometimes is a better way to play it here. So SLV, I think I'll be done with this. There's almost no chance that this silver isn't the first place I look tomorrow as well for a trade. The way this is moving, this is it until proven otherwise. Like, this is the stock giving you the most opportunity.
Yeah, for sure, man. I think again we talk about you know, some of the best opportunities. Those will definitely be stocks in play here. So yeah, definitely ready for that. So guys, for too long, trading meant risking your own money or never having enough to start. The fear of losing, that's what kept so many traders on the sidelines, but that's changing. Trade the Pool is transforming how traders access the markets. With its limited risk trading model, traders use funded capital while Trade the Pool absorbs the downside. This allows traders to focus on what truly matters: discipline, consistency, and growth. When you hit the profit target, you keep 70% of the profits. No fear, no barriers, just real opportunity. This is the revolution of limited risk trading powered by Trade the Pool. Visit tradethepool.com or scan the QR code now to get 10% off your first evaluation. What's up, Sia?
A quick crypto segment for you guys. So BTC is up almost 1%. It did make a push towards 90,000, but has failed and currently stands at 87,897. Bitcoin was hit by uncertainty surrounding President Donald Trump's tariffs that shook global financial markets. Of course, Bitcoin is now down about 5% since last December, after being up around 30% while hitting an all-time high in early October. Also, XRP is up 1%. It's also expected to rally 690% to $15, according to a crypto analyst called Javon Marks. This bullish scenario will definitely set a significant milestone for XRP. That's all. Have a good day, guys, and back to the guys.
Thank you very much, Sia. So I'm just gonna, I'll note the difference in the tape and just punch out of SLV. So it curled off of 69.25, which was VWAP. The best it got down to was like 68.8, and then distinctly different as it bounced in here. So, you know, it started out long silver, and then in the afternoon a couple of times going short. It ends up working out. Tomorrow, I don't even know if I have a bias tomorrow, to be honest with you, in silver. I'm not sure. Ooh, Tesla's moving. We'll go to over for Tesla quick little second. But no, I'm not, again, I'm not really sure what I feel in terms of bias tomorrow, which I think is fine. I'm not going to have a bias. I'm pretty open-minded. Where we gap to, we'll let the price action determine it. I was long today because it was SSR, so my first thought was I like the day 2 SSR long bounce, and then we end the day looking for the short. So we'll see what happens next for sure. Only about 3 minutes to go till we get the end of the day. Wow. So 1 session and 3 minutes until the end of your trading. It's crazy. It'll be crazy.
I mean, we still got Blue Ocean. We still got about 4 hours of after hours. We still got some pre-market session. Come on, this is yeah, it's true. But you know, it's not over.
Lego with my daughter. I'm not trading Blue Ocean.
Nice. What are you guys building?
Oh, I told you, we got her the Lego roller coaster set.
Oh, right,
4,100 pieces.
Whoa.
It's huge, man.
Yeah.
She's only 8 years old.
How long do you think that's going to take?
That means she has to have me help her, which is amazing. Honestly, like, I'm the same way. My dad lived by, he would buy us Lego just so that he could build with us. I swear that's
awesome,
what he was doing. And I'm like, man, that was so cheesy, Dad. I can't believe you did that. And I literally am doing exactly the same thing.
Nice.
Probably more than he does. But she loves doing it, so it's great.
It's awesome, man. Yeah, I know. So I loved Legos as a kid, definitely.
As a kid,
yeah.
I still build all the time, dude.
No, of course. I just haven't been, I guess, involved as much.
You gotta have a hobby.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. Puzzles, I definitely like puzzles. But gaming is more my.
You're like a puzzle guy?
Yeah, like I like puzzles and stuff. You know, those like funky objects that you're like, try to get this out of that.
No, I see. Okay, cool.
Yeah, those are fun.
You know what? Okay, I have some ideas for it. We'll talk. Oh shoot! Did we miss another? We have a minute.
We got a minute
Someone
and a
just
half
said we
right
missed
here.
a super chat. So
Missed a super
I
chat.
see
Oh,
it.
no.
Got you right now. Ideas on where Palantir goes from here. 175 looks like the next level. I don't know why I'm rushing. Only 1 minute left, anyways. It's currently breaking below the 50 MA. Your inputs. Oh man, you're short. Where you? It doesn't even matter. You know what? It doesn't matter where you're short. So today was the test of the 50 period on the daily, and it's failing that test. Tomorrow's going to matter. But if you're in the money, I think you hold through this. Like, why wouldn't you? Like, your whole point of holding, if you're short already, you want to hold through this to see if this thing can press down into 150. I have no idea. What are your, like, I don't know what your expiries are on this, so I can't really, like, assess from risk to reward. But if I'm short and in the money going into the moving average, obviously it could bounce, but if it doesn't bounce, you could see some acceleration on Palantir. So congrats if you're in the money. I would look for a potential follow through. As a trade, a day trade, like my first thought is to look for a bounce the next day, but that's a day trade. If you're in the money on a short swing, that's a completely different story. Time frames always matter. So if you're in the money, I think you got a good one. The 200 period's a long way away, but trust me, Palantir can move like that if it wants to. 10 seconds to go. There weren't anything on the imbalances really, and after everything is paired off, there's still absolutely nothing. As we have 3 seconds to go, and now, boom, we ring that closing bell for the second to last time.
Did I get it?
Year.
Did I get it? I got it.
Which is crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But we have one last super chat to get to, and of course it's Danny's boy. We start and end with super chats from you, it seems. Silver was good enough to move out of Obi's Tesla today. I thought it was Obi's Cybertruck you were going to live in if silver kept falling. Thanks for the hospitality, and sorry about the chicken wings in the back seat.
Nice. Thank you. I mean, hey man, you're welcome anytime. You're welcome anytime. I'll renovate it for you for next time. You know, it's looking a little boxy, a little uncomfy. We'll get upholsters. What's that?
If somebody's in my ride and leaves chicken wings, I'm not answering you with a smile. I know you're just joking about it, but like, I had a year in high school where I had a car I bought from a pops, Man, he really hosed us. Me and my brother bought it. My dad taught us a lesson when we bought his old car from him so that I could have it in high school. I learned a valuable lesson with that, and he wasn't shy about letting us learn that lesson, and it was not a fun one. But that being said, I had a rule when I was driving from practice of basketball and stuff. I'm like, if you leave food in the back of my car, you're not getting a ride from practice the next time.
I don't like anybody eating
straight up
in my car other than me. So
straight up. That's what I'm saying. You don't eat in the ride.
I mean, no, I'm saying I don't like anybody eating in my car other than me.
Oh yes, no, you can.
Yeah,
you
I
do
can
whatever
eat,
you want. Your car. But
like,
eat in someone else's car.
Yeah, exactly.
And you certainly don't leave chicken wings in the back seat.
No, don't do that.
Either way, hopefully you had a good
Greasy
day today.
hands.
I want to shout out and a big thanks, of course, to Obi for filling
Thank
in
you for
not
having me.
just today for Sean, who's back tomorrow from Buffalo, but for Joe, who is on a beach somewhere chilling out. So thank you, Obi, for filling in. Big shout out, as always, to Adara and Sia, the ones and twos on the desk, kicking butt as usual. Shout out to Fabian and Ramin. Andre will be back from vacation soon. And, of course, shout out to Sharif. Thank you to Brian Shannon and Mitch this morning, our guests.
For sure.
Sia's got great taste in science fiction. Adara has a crazy memory. And we have 1 day left of trading for 2025. And we'll start it tomorrow at 8 o'clock. We're Trader TV Live. One more session for the year. Let's make it a good one. Rest up, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Take it easy.